Hey crafty people, this is Ellen with EGI Designs. I was going to make a birthday card today. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going with this, but I had a few ideas. I was going to do the Blackout technique, and I was going to use the new embossing folder from Simon Says Stamp, and this is the Butterfly Burst. It's gorgeous with a spray of butterflies. I was going to do an ink blended background for that using the Distress Oxides. I have Spun Sugar, Kitsch Flamingo, and Picked Raspberry. I was going to go over in black with the Altenew Jet Black Fresh Dye ink. Then I was going to use the Distress Spritz in Picked Raspberry. And I chose that. I'd made this chart from one of my other videos that I did. And the Picked Raspberry, I think, went the best with those pinks. Let's see. I used this Pinkfresh die set, and it's the notched corner frames, and I just used the largest frame to make a panel that I'll be ink blending on. Let's see. I'm going to also use a butterfly on top of the panel, and I'm going to heat emboss that on vellum, but I haven't figured out yet which butterfly would fit the best, so I'm going to do the panel first and then figure it out from there. I do have some happy birthday messages and all that, so we will figure out when we get there what will fit the best. But let's see. Let's get started. Okay, first thing I'm gonna get started on is ink blending the panel. And I have my oxides here. And of course I already managed to get some pink on there, but that's okay since we're going to be using these pinks. So I do have a separate brush for the oxides. You don't want to use the same blending brushes or tools for oxides as for like the regular inks or dye inks, because their properties are different and you don't want to contaminate each of the pads. So you want to keep separate tools for the oxides as separate tools for dye inks. I think I'll just put a piece of paper under here so I don't make a huge mess. And the oxides are great for blending because they're so smooth, and they are a pigment and a dye together, so it makes it a lot easier to be able to get a good blend and a good transition from one color to the other. Oxides and pigment inks, they sit on top of the paper, so that helps you be able to blend them better, whereas dye inks sink into the paper and it makes it harder to blend them. And to avoid getting my fingers into the ink, because it is sitting on top of the paper until it dries, if you put your fingers in it, it will pull some of the ink off and it will get fingerprints. So I just stick a Post-it note tape to my fingers like that so I can hold it that way. And once you have the colors on, I'm just going back to the first color, so it's lighter, so I'm just brushing off my brush on a paper towel. You're just going to go back and forth between the layers to be able to blend it out and make it a smooth transition. You just want to try to get it so that it doesn't look like a harsh line across, and that they go, you know, nicely from one end to the other. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I love working on my glass mat because everything cleans up so easily on here. This one is my mini mat. It's from Glassboard Studios. And I got the purple, of course, because I love that. Alright, so when we're doing the blackout technique, you need to make sure that the embossing folder is pushing into the paper. Whereas usually we would have the image come up from behind. You want this to be going into the paper. So what you want to do is you want to feel the embossing folder. And there's a side that's kind of flat, and there's a side that has the images sticking out. So you want to make sure in this case that you have the ones that are sticking out facing the front of your panel. Because you want the butterflies to be recessed, like pushed into the paper. Let me just run this through my die cut machine and I will be right back. Okay, well that looks so pretty. So as you can see, the butterflies are pushed into the paper on this one. Normally you would have it, you'd do it like this for a card. But for this technique, you have it pushed in. I am going to just wipe down, since we had, it's probably not quite dry yet, oxides and pigment inks take a little bit longer to dry. So just wipe that down. Alright, so I'm going to put a piece of paper down because this can get a little messy. But what we're going to do is take the black ink and we're going to rub it over the top of this. So there's a lot of flat area here, and so the black is actually going to cover up the flat area, so you're just going to be left with all these little indented butterflies. Like, look at that, looks so awesome, I think. You just want to make sure that you have the full coverage on this. Okay, I think that looks pretty well covered. And you'll probably end up getting black all over your hand. And you can use, I have the alcohol wipes in a little container, and I just wipe up my hands so I don't transfer that to everything else on the rest of my project. Alright, so I am going to dry this a little bit. I'm going to use my Ranger Heat tool. It's all tangled up with everything else. Right, there we go. Okay. Just gonna clean this up. Alright, I think that looks great. I love the ombre of the pinks. Let's see. Now I think we will do the spray, the Spritz. So I'm just going to bring out, I have a flour sack cloth and put that underneath so that I do not get spritzes all over my desk. It's amazing how far these sprays seem to travel. Alright, so Distress Spritz is a colored, like a mica powder in a clear liquid. Whereas, like the Distress Mica Stains is actually a colored liquid with a colored mica in it. So it gives you a little bit more translucency, and it doesn't, you know, cover up or take over the other items on your panel. So this one is the Picked Raspberry, and you do need to make sure that you shake it very well, and you can see in here that it's all mixed up and you're good to go. And you just spritz it over. You can put as much or as little as you like. And right now, it doesn't look like much. But when you tilt it in the light, you can see all that shimmer and shine. And it looks gorgeous, especially on the black. I'm just going to dry this one too. So hopefully you can see that. It's so shimmery, just gorgeous. Okay, now we have to decide which butterfly to put on here. I'm kind of leaning towards this one. I don't know if this one's going to be too big. We could see. Actually, you know, I think I'm going to do this one because I'm going to heat emboss it, and I like the fine detail. Whereas this one is more dark filled in there. And this is the Gina K Designs Beautiful Butterflies. It's an older set, but I love it. The butterflies. Oh yeah, I think this will be perfect. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside to keep drying, and then we need to heat emboss this. Trying to find my piece of vellum I had. And I do have the dies for that. Let's see. Okay, that's the one for that. I got out my Misty, and I have my Waffle Flower grip mat in there. I'm gonna go this way. I'm just making sure if there's any residue on there from the factory, but I think I've used this one before, so we should be good to go. Alright, we need our anti-static powder tool, and this one's from Simon. We need the fine detail clear, though I am considering doing some sparkle going to do this actually. So I have the Wow embossing glitter, and it's the clear sparkle. I'll give that a shot. Alright, so you first put your powder down, and this will take off any static or any oils from your hand, because you only want the powder to stick to the ink. I'm just trying to think of color. If we should do black or a pink. I think we'll go black so it'll pop. So what I'm going to do for that is use my VersaFine Clair, and this is a pigment ink, so it will stay wet, so then I can just add the powder right to that. And it's a really rich black color. Oh, that's so pretty. I'll give it one more inking. Alright, so I'm just going to get my paper ready and my powder ready. So while this is wet, you put the powder on, and you want to cover the whole thing. And then you can kind of give it a little tap to dance across and kind of fill in. If you miss any spots, you can just go back. Okay. So then you just funnel the powder back into the container. Alright, and so I have a lot of powder here that I can see, and I clean up with a Swiffer dust cloth, and it picks up all of those powders. Okay. Alright, and now we need to heat this. So there's a couple things to be mindful of with this, is that we're working on vellum, which is very delicate. So you cannot keep the heat focused in one area for a very long time, because you will warp and burn the paper. And also, because we have sparkle embossing powder, you want to start by heating it from the back so that the powder will melt and these sparkles will embed into the heated powder. If you start from the front, a lot of times these sparkles will just fly off, and it will only leave the clear powder behind. So if you want to maintain that sparkly look, you want to heat from the back first. let me just get my heat tool. And you want to warm it up before you go to the paper. So I'm going to turn this on and let it warm up for a little bit, and then I will start heating this. I don't know if you can see it in there yet. See, it's getting hot. So the heating element. And because it's so hot, that's why it can melt the powder. So I'm just putting this behind. Ooh, see, look, it started already. Oh, that's so pretty. Melting embossing powder is just magical. So now that the whole thing is melted from behind, I'm just going to go from the top and just make sure everything is all set. And once things are melted, you want to move on to the next area, because you do not want to, if you heat the powder for too long, it'll actually liquefy and soak into the paper, and you'll lose that shiny raised look. So hopefully you can see that. And I'm just checking to make sure I'm all melted. I feel like right in the middle that needs to be a little more. Give me one sec. Okay, let me just check one again. And you can see there that it's all shiny, it's all good to go. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm gonna let this cool for a sec, and then I will cut it out. If you cut it out and it's still hot, it will either squish your I don't know what you want to call it. It'll like squish the embossed image, or it could smear it. So just getting a drink. Let's see. I think that'll look really cute. Okay, so I'm just going to die cut this, and I will be right back. All right. Looks great. Okay. So this is the idea. We can bend the wings a little bit so it'll pop. Let's see. I think I want to do like maybe a ribbon. this is too pale. I think it is. It's a gorgeous rose, light rose colored ribbon, but it is a little pale for that. I wonder if I have anything else. None of the shades for that are quite right. I think this would be good. Just add a little extra sparkle. I'll put that down here. Alright, so what I will do for that is take my double-sided adhesive tape and I put it on the back. And then peel off the papers. This is just a vinyl weeding tool that I like to use. I kind of want it to be about this area. So I need to stick it on the back. And then you can just kind of adjust it. Oop, and then that side came off. You just try to want to get it as straight as you can. I like to go around about 3 times. Okay, and then this I'm actually going to be popping up onto the card base. So let me just grab my foam tape. Okay, this is the Big Mama foam tape from Simon Says Stamp, and I love it because it's so thin. And I have these Simon scissors, and they are coated with Teflon so they don't stick to any of the sticky stuff. Okay. And I think I could probably do on the back. I'm just trying to figure out how we want to attach it. And I have some black foam squares. Skinny little piece on here. And you can't actually see it through because we put it right behind a part that was more filled in. Gonna see if maybe I can get another one. Okay, I think I'm good with that. Now we just have to figure out the rest. Let's see. First thing I want to do is get the card base set. And I have an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock, and then I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. And this is the new Spellbinders trimmer, and I love it because you can have the scoring on the track. So this one is the scorer, and this one is the cutter, so you can have them on right together. And then I like to use the lip here to line up the sides, and I'll use my bone folder to crease that. Okay. Alright, just trying to get an idea of placement, or if there's anything else we want to do. I think I'm actually gonna do the spun sugar and go around the outside here. I need to find my little stand thing for my ink so it'll hold it for me. Whoop, I found it. This one's just from Waffle Flour, and it's like a little silicone. circled it for you so you don't have to have it keep moving on you everywhere. And I'm only doing the edges because nobody's gonna see underneath. Alright. All good, all good. That aside. Yeah, I like the way that that ties that in. Makes it pop a little more. Okay. I'll take the box off and attach it to the card base. Just a bit. If you don't press down, you can usually lift it up. And then a lot of times I like to put glue on the back too, but I don't think I'm going to today. Kind of like with the panel cut this way, it's sort of like a optical illusion or something, trying to get this on there. There we go. I'm just rubbing that from behind because I don't want to rub off the Spritz or any of that stuff, or the ink off the front. Okay, let's see what else. You know, this is crazy, but I actually feel like this might be better with a pink butterfly. Let me make that off screen and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back with the new butterfly. This one I stamped in the Kitsch Flamingo, and then I used the Kitsch Flamingo embossing glaze. So you end up with it looking like this. And I do think I like this better. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think I do. Alright, so on to the next. We need to figure out the sentiment. And I really like this, the font on this Birthday Wishes. And this is the Blooming Sunflower stamp set from Gina K. It's currently the incentive set until the next release, and then you'll be able to make a purchase of this. But it does have coordinating dies that you can buy now. Alright. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Now we just have to figure out how do we want to, what colors do we want to use? What do we want to, I think I'm going to ink blend a pink and then heat emboss on top of that in black. So I think that's what we'll do for that. Let me see. That's enough. Okay, so whenever you're looking for cardstock to match, all you really need to do is just ink blend with the matching ink. Do I want to go light with the Spun Sugar or the Kitsch Flamingo and kind of tie that all together? I think this will be good. Okay, that's big enough. For this one, I'll get out my mini Misty. Okay. Again, putting on the anti-static powder. I'm going to use the VersaFine Clair Nocturne, and my desk is a craft explosion at the moment. Alright, and then get the clear powder. Oh, I love that. Such a great font. looks great. All right. I'm gonna get some tweezers for this one because this one's small and I don't want to burn my hand. Looks great. Give that a second to cool. Get out the dye. Okay, I'll go die cut that and be right back. Okay, let's see. Oh, that looks so cute. All right. Oh, I like that. Okay, so now we need to put these together. Trying to think of the best way. I think actually for this one I'm going to cut out a few layers of black and layer that behind. So I will be right back with that. Okay, I cut out 3 of the black layers, and what we're gonna do is glue them together and then glue them behind the birthday wishes. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue the butterfly on so that can get gluing while we're gluing that. I'm gonna put just a little bit of glue here, like where it's a more opaque area, but hopefully it doesn't shine through on the vellum. Trying to squish it a little bit so it's not a big glop. Block for that. So while that is drying, we can glue these together. This one, when I glued on the top layer, I'm actually going to offset it a little bit so you get a little shadow. That looks cute. Let's see how this is doing. Let's see what else. What else? I wonder how these would go with this. Oh, I like that. And it ended up, because it's pretty thick now, it looks like a chipboard piece. Yeah, I like that. Alright, we'll stick this on. I don't know if we need a different color of this or if this will work, but we can see. I do like how iridescent they are. this is just my pickup tool from Trinity Stamps. Just trying to figure out placement and what I like here. Okay, I think I like that arrangement. Okay, I think we are good to go with this card finally. And I love the shine of the spritz in the background, and then the glaze on the butterfly that's so shiny, and I think the sentiment came out awesome with the multitude of layers, making that look more of like a chunky sentiment. And the blackout technique with this butterfly folder, ugh, I just love it. Okay, I think that's it for the day. Hopefully you learned something, found something interesting, or just had a good time taking a little break. Anyway, I will link everything that I used today in the description box, and they are affiliate links, which means if you click on them and end up making a purchase, I will make a small commission, and that really helps me in my channel, and I really appreciate you shopping through my links. Like, subscribe, and all that jazz, and then until next time, take care.